Okay, so just want to give video for you regarding this. Here, I'm gonna get the edit post, copy link address, so that I will send, or I will put the link of the edit link on the post. So WordPress edit link. So it will make the life of my other teammates easier. So we don't necessarily have to go through and do the search. As much as possible, provide the other information that the other team members are working together with the specific task. So don't try to say just figuring out. Please figure out this out. You're saying that when you are doing the task without any references or links. So now let's go ahead and get into this, and let's try to do this in Kajabi while having a button that will actually redirect. So that means you have to log into Kajabi. Let's do just that, app.kajabi.com, and let's see if we could add this green box with a click here button. So let's log into Michelle Lagley's account. My head is aching. So let's go ahead to post. Since this is a blog post, we're going to go to the post and see if we are here in the blog and where to find that blog. And since the task already have the reference to the Kajabi, I believe. So I think that's not there. I think it's in here. Here. So this is the edit link of the Kajabi. This is a good thing. Here, let's go to edit that on the browser where we are going to do it. And then from here, you could see in the blog post, here we have a video, we have text, and I think we are missing, you want to become a healer, check this out. So here's the thing, you could actually add a button. So let's say if this is not a button, now we can't really add a button here. So there's no formatting or anything like that in here. So I think, here's the thing. So let me try to do this. If I'm able to do this. So this is a custom HTML. I'm gonna get into this where it says want to become a healer, because that is where we're getting started. So get into the source code. And from here, where did it start? Here it is. So I'm gonna get into here. So because this is the end part of this code here. So this is the beginning of the code, which is H2 for this text. So what I'm gonna do, so I'm gonna type in a div here, div, and I'm gonna do another div. So this is a div, is just a block of code, just tag that like grouping a number of other tag or HTML tags, like H2, P is for paragraphs. Okay, so since an NBSP code, this is a code that actually doesn't do anything but space. Okay, so we could just delete this, and then what we could do is to add a button. Let's try to add a button first. Let's see, P. Probably we're going to align center this. So let's do the same. Text align center. Text align center is the code for centering the button. So let's do that, and let's see, button, and let's name the button click here. So just for example, it doesn't do anything just yet. Button. And there you have it. So let's go back and click OK and see what we got. There you have it. So you have a button here that is clickable. So we are going to go back to the source code, and we have to style the button. So before that, we have to make sure that it goes anywhere. So it goes something href is equal to, then double quote. So this is where the address that we are going to do, or we're going to go. Okay, so let's just put number sign for that. And then from here at the end of the click here, so we're going to end the A tag. So A tag. So this is the beginning of the A tag, which is a link, and then this is the end. You can see that there is / at every end of the tag. You can see that P begins here and it closes here, and the end of P. So this is the P. Then this is called the attribute of paragraph. So this is a styling, just to style the to add any style, and then this is the end of this P. So there's another P here, but the beginning of that P, which is paragraph, is in here. So a paragraph have a line height for each. You can see. If you could get in here, so we'll see that's click here. So we could just capitalize here, click here, and then we are going to link that to let's say, for example, let's just link it to this WordPress link. We are not going to we're going to change this to the Kajabi link, by the way, later on. Let's try this if this will work. So let's paste that between the quotes and click OK. You see that the button now is clickable to the link. So I think it's actually let's go back to the code, and I think the ahref actually should wrap the button. Currently the button wraps the A tags. Okay, so instead we're going to change that. The A tag will wrap the button. So that means the button is going to be within the A tag. Okay, so button here, button A. Okay, there you go. So it seems like that's more appropriate. So now the button is going to be clickable. Now we have to go and we have to have style the div. So remember that we already wrap this with div. So I'm going to name this div. I'm going to build a class called probably green box or m dash opt-in box, probably I will call it like so. Then double quote. Okay, remember that class div class, and then equals, then double quote, then the name of the class. Okay, so that's the class. And then we're also going to style the button. I'm going to call a class for the button, and I say button, let's just say button. So let's see if this is already in Kajabi. So nothing happens, so that means that that doesn't have anything. So I will just name it m-button. So M is representation to Michelle's website, just me thinking. So remember that we have two class. So I'm gonna open Notepad, run. Then I'm gonna type in my class. So the class is, in order for us to put this on CSS, we have to go and type in dot. Okay, then that is the name of the class. So we have two class dot m dash, what's the other, button, I think, yeah, m dash button. So that's the other class. Then we're going to use open and close. Now then we are now going to add a style here. So we are going to do just that later on. So let's just structure this. So we need to have a beginning and end for this CSS style. By the way, this is CSS. So let's go and click OK with this. Okay, so now the you can't see anything just yet, but I'm going to save this, and I'm going to view this on where's that? I'm going to preview this, and we are going to inspect element so that we will be able to add some styling to the div. So here we go. So stay connected. We don't want that by the way. So let's see, where did that set up? So stay connected. Where's that being set? Stay connected, stay connected, stay connected. I don't see anything. I think that was on the settings. But here, let's go back to the opt-in page. So here we have already the buttons. If you click that, it will redirect. See, it's now redirecting to the link, but we have to update the URL for that later on. And now I'm gonna inspect element, and I'm gonna style this. So remember that we already wrapped this part here with div. So you see, so this is the div. So you can see div opt-in box. So I'm gonna add the plus here, plus, and you see that it's structured the same way that we have in Notepad. So now we could add more styling here so that we could simulate what are the styling that we need to add for this code. So let me first try to add some border, and we're going to say 1px number, let's say solid, and number sign DDD. So what this does, it's saying that I want to add border on the opt-in box, which is the div, and with 1 pixel, which is the width of the border, and then the color and the solid. So there are other parameters for that. Solid dash, like that. You see, it's like dash or so dotted like that. So like dots. Then you could increase the width of the box. You could see that. So 5 pixels, or probably we could make this dash instead. You see the difference. Okay, so we want solid, and then of course we want to have this opt-in box to say what color is this. So we have to get the color of that by using this color picker. There you have it. Go back to the color picker, and I'm gonna try to go back to this and replace this color with this color. So you see, now I have the styling of the box, and I need to make sure that the padding, I want to have padding. By the way, padding is a spacing within the box, probably 15px for all the side. So padding is 4 side, padding top, padding right, padding bottom. If you're gonna adjust one, this is the if I'm gonna highlight this, see, let's highlight this that way. So you can see if I hover this, hover on this element, you can see if I hover that, and I'm gonna try to change this, change the size here, you can see that the changes within the box. That is the padding. Okay, so the like a inner border, like so. So you can see that the spacing from side to side and top is changing while I'm increasing the padding size here. So with that, I think I'm good with this code for the box. What's needed again is, I think the background itself is going to be the same color with this, and there you have it. And I think there's a white border, and I think I don't necessarily want to have that. And by the way, we want the color to be FFF, which is white. So check this out. So let's see if we have, then check this out, then check this out, then check this out. So once we get a healer, then check this out. Now we are going to proceed with the button. So I don't know if I could just check this. I'm gonna inspect element in this portion, and if I'm gonna able to see, so border double. So I think this is the one that actually one we are missing. So it's border double. So let's try that out with our page. So let's see it here. So border double instead of just border pixel. So let's say border double 15px FFF. Oops, sorry. Double. And yeah, so it's possible. So we have double and 15px and XS, and we got exactly the same. So now we are going to add this code. We're going to copy all this from here and copy this and paste this on our in our custom box that we just created. So we're going to save this later on. So first, save this on our resources for our client. So it's going to be for Michelle Lagley, and then assets, and I'm gonna go and save this as probably CSS. Probably I'm gonna say here resources instead of assets, resources, and then I'm gonna name this custom Kajabi post CSS. So there you go. So now we have this save. It's safe to save this ahead of time. Probably we have power interruption. We don't have to worry because it's already saved. Okay. So now let's proceed to the button. Here we are going to hover this Viola, and now you already created. Remember, we already created a button class for that, which is class M button. So we just have to name that, or we just have to call that class by adding the plus sign. So now button M button. What should we do? Let's try to say color, probably yellow dot DDD. You see the DDD changes. So it's gonna be yellow, probably this yellow. And by the way, that is a color. I need it to be the background instead. Background. There you go. And of course, we want to have a border none, border to be none, and then we want to have a padding of let's say 25 or just 5 px. Let's increase it and probably 10. And then we are going to go with width to probably 200 px, like so. Let's see if this is gonna work. So click here. You see that's the button is already trying to be looking good right now. And then but after that, we want to have a border radius to, I think, 2px. You see the button now have a rounded corner. Okay, the next thing that we want to do is the color of the text. We want it to be, I think, white. FFF. See, it's much better now. So click here. So you see, I think our button is much better looking than that in her. So we just simple. The only thing that she has is it has something animation in there. So I think more likely it's a button. So let's probably say font weight, font size, and font weight. So let's try to font weight. It's probably 300 to make it bold. No, probably more, 700. Yeah, and then font size would be 15px. Oh no, it should be bigger. Click here, 24px, and probably I could adjust the width of this, probably something like 225. Click here. So much better that way. So you see that I already have this custom button. So what you say? Click here. And here's another. I wanted to add something. Light yellow is the hover. I think I could add a hover code for the button. So how to do that? Just click the add again, but I'm just gonna append colon hover. So what this does is that it will apply to the button when we hover the mouse. You can see if I put the mouse over the button, it will probably change the color to probably just darker than white. So you see, probably dark like that. See, now it's now no longer white because when I hover the mouse, the button or the text in the button changes to darker gray. So what else? Probably I wanted to change this to text decoration uppercase. What is uppercase, lowercase, text transform? Yeah, text transform. It's going to be an uppercase. You see? Viola. So what else? So I have to recopy this code again. So copy the entire thing and paste it back to our code. Make sure it's within the begin and end, or parentheses, closing and open parentheses, or open and close parentheses. And now going back to the hover, we have to copy the entire thing because we haven't added that just yet. So you see that it's now button.m hover. So what else? So it still worked because this is specifying the button from the HTML. Then now let's go back to the M class, the aim hover. And by the way, this is going to be this part here because that's hover. So let's go back to the button and let's see. This is the button. Oh, chulugs, mali na eh. So I'm wrong earlier. So it should be in this part here. That should be for the button hover. So I've made changes here that shouldn't be. So I'm going to go back and restore the code. Oh, before it's gonna die and lost out of the water. So let's hover this back again and let's get that code again. So that's for M-opt-in. So this is going to be the code. That's the code for the button that we just pasted earlier. So now we just copied all this button. Kalagot. Again, I'm wrong. So this would be for the M button. Then the next would be for the button hover. We just have to change the color, right? So just change the color and hover. So if you click that, this is here. We're going to copy that here. So we're going to replace that with that code. So now we are going to copy all this and going to save first. We're going to go back to Kajabi and let's go to in the blog post. So in the blog, we'll go to the designer. Let's go to the designer and go to the themes settings, which is the blog. I don't know if there is a custom CSS just yet here. Let's see if there is settings and there is any typography, color scheme, manage color. No, we don't have anything here. So we have to actually go back to the blog site and we have to customize the theme here. It says here that says design, then theme, and then you have to go here on the edit code. So in the edit code, we are going to go to sections. I'm going to go to the assets and I'm going to find the override CSS liquid. So override that as CSS liquid, and then I'm going to paste my code here and I'm going to save this. So after saving, let me see if this will apply. So you will notice that I override here. So I made an override CSS for this blog. So because the entire website, the blog is included in the site-wide level of theme. So for the landing page, page builder, they have their own they have their own themes. Okay, so the code that we added for this will not affect the landing pages. Okay, so just for the blog and for the main homepage of the site. So let's go and try to reload this and see if what we just applied applies. Surprise, surprise. Wow! So now it's been applied. You can see, click here. Now we just have to remove this because I think we don't necessarily need to have that in our blog post. So when I become healer and later on we have to update the link with this when you already created the Kajabi page for this version, but Kajabi version of this page, then you just have to update this link. You have to go back to the page and make sure you edit the source code, and you just have to change this double quote here that says Michelle Empath and change it to the new Kajabi link. Okay, so I think that's all for this video, and hope you have learned a lot from this training. And by the way, if you wanted to reuse this from other posts that have this, you just have to go to the edit and just copy this. Copy and opt-in box for starting from div to div. Then you will see I will explain every bit of this code. So again, this is the div box that holds these elements, and we made the styling for that in our blog code. Okay, so make sure you don't touch any of these codes here. Don't delete anything. You have to be very careful. So next is going to be, you want to become a healer. So you could change the headline here, you could change this text here, and then you could change the title of the text. I mean the button. You could say submit now or whatever the button says, and then change the link here within the double quote. Okay, so that's just the things that you actually needed to do. So that means if I'm gonna add another div and I'm gonna make another div here, so probably it's gonna be used in the other page. I'm just gonna name it class m dash opt-in box. So since I already have this custom code in CSS, it's already been saved. You don't have to do this again since I already have done it here. So you could do that for other types of styling that you might want to happen on some of the pages. But that's how to do it by customizing things out. Just put your code by just add more code here if you have more codes to add. Okay, so and then just confirm to me if you're not sure with your code. Then from that you can see if I'm gonna add more column box here, h blah, let's say this is an h2 or whatever, so I'm gonna say this is going to be h3 and lots of other things that I want to say or want to use. You see that it will be applied, so it's not visible here, but if I save it and if I'm gonna refresh this page, you will see that I should have now 2 boxes which contains the other information. See, that's the power of custom editing. So we are now going to remove this because I don't need that. So save and click save here. So that's basically it. Refreshing the page should get us updated. So questions, let me know.